order on the agenda is the warrant. Before I share that, Brian, we had this, I think it was a phone invoice. I think Marilyn reached out to you and asked if we could approve that tonight.
Yeah, Michelle reached out to me. I don't mind it being approved. We'll take it and put it into our budget, as this is the school department's phone system that's being installed at 36 King.
Okay.
Usually we'd ask for that to be sent to us and then we review it and put it in. It was a little backwards this time. We reviewed it and no issue.
Yeah, that was my concern. So let me share the invoice. I did send this out earlier.
That wasn't in the original bid, the phone system?
No. So a lot of the tech equipment, servers, switches, racks, all of that is being provided by the town, as well as the phone system that is separate than what Parks and Rec's phone system would be.
Mm-hmm.
Can everyone see the Vertex package?
Yes.
Okay, so the breakdown is on page 3. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at it. Brian, do you want to give a brief update on this?
Yeah. Had you guys voted on these already? No? Okay. Because I remember the previous one that didn't have Munis on it, I thought was for these invoices, but no problem. I can give a quick update. Cabot Risk Strategies, that is a credit based upon the proposal that the builder's risk town insurer gave us. So they provided a credit for the original quote that they had, which goes back into our coffers. The piano movers, that's I believe that's 3 months of storage for the piano. We'll be coordinating to get those back on site once the finishes and flooring is complete. We can get that back in and stop paying storage fees.
We did vote on that.
Yeah. Vertex is our invoice for the OPM management fees at King Street. LLB has a few invoices that made up just $10,727. That is for their original construction administration, as well as some additional services that we had voted on previously. And then Classic Construction for their base contract of $108,798.03.
Any questions? Okay, is there a motion to approve the invoice as submitted for $130,927.28?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Bob?
Bob Rumley, yes.
Bartlett?
Bartlett Harvey, yes.
Tim?
Tim Harvey, yes.
And Steve, yes. The motion carries. We will then move to the next invoice, which is the school department's phone system. Can everyone see this? Whoops.
No.
Can you see that now?
Nope.
See you.
Well, user error here. I sent this out with the other one. It was recommended by Steve Mark that we approve this. I think Brian has taken a look at it. Is that correct, Brian?
Correct.
And there's a recommendation that we pay this. I believe this is just for material only, not for installation.
Correct.
And this is $2,207.25. And is there a motion? Any questions?
This is just material. What's the other part of it? Do we know?
Installation.
It is installation, Steve?
This is the invoice for material only, and then installation is not included in this.
All right.
Which building is this for?
36 King Street.
Yeah.
Is this part of the original contract? Or is this a change?
this is something that we had budgeted for, knowing that we were going to need phone systems for the school department. We had a quote when we started this of roughly around, I think it was $9,000. So this would be charged against that budget line item.
Okay.
Brian, is this plug and play or is there a lot of labor involved in?
I don't think there's too much, Bob. I think we have the locations for it up on the second floor in the closet we're using as an IDF room. And then ultimately it's going to be the terminating at the phone workstations, which are all getting new Cat 6. So I think we're in a good position, and I'll speak with Steve too about when installation can happen, as hopefully the schedule picks up here and we're getting on the home stretch.
Okay, that's going to kind of segue into the next topic when we get into the King Street project.
Sure.
Any other
we-
discussion?
Are we paying this bill or not?
We're voting to approve it.
Make a motion, we approve the bill for 2207.25.
Second,
Okay, roll call vote. Bob,
Bob Rumley, yes.
Bartlett,
Bartlett Harvey, yes.
Tim,
Tim Harvey, yes.
and Steve Moore, yes. Very good. We'll go to the back to the agenda. Approve the minutes from December 11th. I sent out an edited version of that. We don't have a edited version of the January 8th meeting minutes, but did anyone have a chance to look at the December 11th edited minutes?
Yeah,
I
I did.
haven't seen it yet, Steve.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
I didn't look at it.
So should we defer the vote on this?
We can.
Yeah, if
Sure.
people haven't looked at it, I'm not comfortable voting on it. And then Merrill and I had sent some comments back on the January 8th, if you can take a look at those.
Steve, do
will
we
look
have
at them.
a warrant for the senior center?
We do not.
So again, I think we voted on that already.
Okay.
That was last week, right?
Correct.
So this week it was just the 36 King Street and the phone invoice. So next is Shaker Lane School feasibility study. Stacy is not on the line, but we did get approval from MSBA to with our proposed site location, and they did come back with some additional comments, which I think the committee is responding to, and I think that's all the information that I have. Senior Center update, Brian.
Senior Center's chugging right along. Finishes are going in. Thanks to Bob and Bartlett, they've been attending our OAC meetings that have been going fairly smoothly. I would say issues at this point. Town-owned AV system. I'm going to spend the day tomorrow and get to the bottom of it. We're trying to get that service in and the AV system in so that when we do have turnover, that is functioning. We don't want to have any work being done as we're trying to move in. We're coordinating furniture delivery. Finished paint is going in. Commissioning is ongoing. We'll have final commissioning on the kitchen in Captive Air. We're having that on the 14th of February. And then we're still scheduled for what we're calling substantial completion in that mid-March, and it's also weather dependent based upon some of the remaining site work and top coat of paving that needs to be done. We've coordinated with the residents that we've been using as a construction trailer. We're giving the go-ahead for some allowance money to be used that's within the Commodore GMP, so that we can put back a driveway as well as connect the sewer system to the force main out in Shattuck Street.
I saw that you have a bunch of porta potties out there.
Yep.
Yep.
So at the last thing we talked about at today's OAC is that the town is narrowing in on a date for an open house would be in May. So we'll make sure to keep PMBC involved with that so that everyone can be there for that.
That's great.
Brian, can we touch on the AV? I know it's a sore subject with a few people.
Yes. So we have few PMBC meetings back. We transferred some money in order to accommodate our AV scope that we needed. It's taken some time to hash things out and cut through the red tape in purchasing and in ordering a PO. What we have is some terms and conditions that I need to look through tomorrow. There, in short, we have a part A and a part B. The part A being all of the screens and displays and the speakers throughout the multi-purpose room, and part B being a lot of the broadcast stuff that LCTV will be working with. I'm hoping to get that figured out, pushed through. The PO can be extended on that, and then we can set some deadlines for the AV consultant on getting them in. Like I've said in other meetings, lessons learned. I think it would be more wise to bring in a designer early on in the design process and design an AV system, and either carry that within the contractor or shop it out with multiple firms on the state bid list.
If we can't satisfy this problem, can we go forward with A and put B out to bid, or somehow take care of B a different way?
It's certainly an idea. I think if we can get A taken care of and put behind us, and B we seem to not being able to get over the hump here, I think it would be a discussion with LCTV and the town administrator's office on whether or not we want to go solicit bids off of the state bid list with firms that have those credentials.
We don't have a contract for B, right?
No.
That would be my suggestion, is to dump them and let's put it out to bid to somebody else.
So without getting into the weeds, for those that aren't familiar with the part A and part B, which I did look into this morning, it's a can of worms, and I think Brian's going to look into it and try to resolve that. So
I'm going to spend my snow day tomorrow.
Good luck, Brian.
Thank you.
What's the holdup? Is it the price, or?
It started with the price, Tim, and then it went to the credentials on how we procure the actual equipment and the labor. Then there was an issue with the licensing of the electricians to pull the low voltage. So there's been multiple variables here that have that we've hit some some roadblocks as we've tried to issue this purchase order.
Okay, any other comments, questions on the senior center? Okay, on to the elephant in the room tonight is Indian Hill.
Yep. Thank you for having this meeting a lot quicker than the second week, because Matt had sent out to everybody the change orders that we're recommending for approval. This is what we're considering a majority of the remaining change orders, but also allows the contractor to place orders and try to catch up some schedule here at this point. They've been delayed with some structural issues on the second floor, and they want to make sure they're not delayed any further with some of these light fixtures that we've had. Matt had distributed all of those PCOs. If you'd like me to pull them up, I can. But I guess we could open it as if there's any questions on any of the PCOs that were determined.
Yeah,
right now, Vertex.
We should pull it up, and if anyone has questions, they can ask.
I have the log open on my other screen. If you want to look at the log complements, you can do that, or you can pull them up individually.
But all these change orders, I should say, have been vetted not only through Vertex but also through Ryan Ferreira.
And for the whole town. Yeah, Eric
Oh, and
Durb
Eric, yeah, that's
everyone. Yeah,
Right, I'll pull up
been
the
fully
log.
vetted.
I'll
Fully
pull up
vetted.
the log here and I'll share that screen. All right, can folks see this? I have the log up here.
Yep.
got it.
The list that I sent out in the email to the members of the committee corresponds with the items in green here under the pending column.
Just so everyone knows, there's three larger ones here, or ones that we are putting in based upon, well, we're recommending them. They were requests from the end user, and we've reviewed and vetted them with Ryan, who's now the town finance director as well, who we have reviewed these for price and scope, and then he reviews them. We also, like I said, we talked with Steve, and we're recommending them to be paid for. So the larger ones are the restroom fixtures to replace all the toilets throughout the building. If you walk through there, they are in pretty poor shape. The intention was to kind of clean them up. At this point, if we're going to have a new building, we should have some new fixtures, is the reasoning of the town administrator. The $66,000 one, which is for additional lighting. This is from a request from both departments. And then Eric, you can maybe shine some light on this too, as the town is looking to be more efficient bulbs and fixtures to go in on the second floor. The original scope was to leave kind of those box hallway lighting and kind of the track lighting that was on that second floor. We've had this price for a little bit of time now, but we wanted to make sure that it was fully vetted and approved and given to us from the town that this could be accommodated by the budget. So
Yeah. So Brian, Dr. Clenchy essentially said that he wanted to replace all of the lighting in the second floor for the school department to LED to enhance the appearance and to also improve on the efficiency of it. So I think we should proceed with that. I think that converting the whole building to LED would definitely help with some of the costs, and I recommend it.
The operational costs. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Brian, are there any energy, excuse me, energy credits available through the Green Communities program?
So I'd spoken with I'm sorry, her name escapes me, from Town Hall.
Diane Dickerson. I've been working with her in the green communities, and we're trying to get a little bit of money, but it seems like some of that money is going to have to go to the exterior envelope and the insulation before we can get money for anything else at this point.
Okay. Thanks.
So
That'll be something separate from this project, though.
for the lighting fixtures, is it replacing fluorescent with LED mostly?
Yes. Yep. All of it.
In the fixtures themselves, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like a really great idea to go to LED. Is it a matter of just replacing the fixtures, but the wiring and the switches are all there?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And is it the regular electrical subcontractor is doing this, or is it?
That's correct.
That's also correct. Yeah.
Because just a thing I had seen for lighting replacement jobs, sometimes there's lighting contractors who can do them for a good price. They have an electrician who supervises some guys who do a lot of the wiring in.
Well, unfortunately, we're under the what is it called? Prevailing rate program.
Yeah, and at this point, the biggest concern is that the drywall and tapers and all the paint and everything is going in, and we're trying to get the lighting done before that so we don't have to pay an additional cost to then, replace all or patch up all the work that was done from the old lighting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, patch and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, good point, Eric.
yeah.
So what about the 35,000?
Yep, that's the next one on here. That has to do with room
204B.
204B. It's an office located on the second floor, and it's actually when you walk in the vestibule, it's made up of some of the ceiling that's in that main vestibule when you walk in the building. When they ripped up the plywood, they determined that there was not sufficient anchoring to certain beams up there on the second floor. This was also an office that was receiving some significant weight addition as it came with the storage filing that's coming over with the school department.
Got it.
We had multiple meetings with the structural engineer to figure out what our options can be. We determined that taking the ceiling out and replacing some of this framing from underneath was going to be our best bet. It is a pretty significant number. It is the whole room that needs to be redone. And there also needs to be mechanical fastening that goes into the existing joist that we have right there in the vestibule. So
is this a replacement or a reinforcement?
Replacement.
Okay.
The flooring in that area, when we took up the plywood sheathing on the floor, was unusual and substandard in that they had stacked 2x4s and 2x8s to make 12, which is a really unusual condition to find, and it threw us a bit of a curveball. I don't think anybody expected to find that, and certainly it wouldn't be sufficient to account for the weight of additional filing cabinets, which are really important for the particular functions of those offices in that area.
Sounds like something I would have done.
It's something that somebody did.
I wasn't going to
Also there
admit it.
again today, adding more C channel to those carrying beams in the basement and drilling more holes through. So
Mm.
Okay.
we'll be heavily fortified.
So does anyone have any questions on the other items per se? I mean, we covered the big ones, but everything else has been vetted pretty well with the town and
Yes,
through Vertex.
For the plumbing fixtures, how many bathrooms are there in the building?
I believe there's 2 upstairs, 2 downstairs, and maybe
There's the one that we're adding at the lower level
one
too.
we're adding in the lower so probably 6, 7.
And so the fixtures are toilets,
Thanks.
urinals, maybe lavatories?
Correct.
And do you know if they're gonna go with like dual flush toilets or?
So we had some issue, and I don't want to bore everybody with this, but we had some concerns that if we were putting in new fixtures that we're going to have a less gallons per flush per the toilet for energy usage, that we were going to have some issues with the septic tank because we were having it backed up. That's something we approved earlier a few months ago. The contractor came out and helped fix the belly in the pipe that was outside the building. So we don't have that issue anymore. But the new fixtures that are going in are going to be higher efficiency than what was previously there.
Do you know if they'll be dual flush?
I don't know that. I can find that out for you, Tim, and send it to you.
You know, that's a good point, because when we did the high school football field, we had a set of restrooms out there, and they were all low flush, and they didn't have enough. There was not enough pitch in the pipe to get the waste down to where it had to go, and it just backed up.
They became no flush.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, that was the biggest concern that I found when I opened the book when I got to 36 Kings. So we have addressed that as best we can, and we will see what happens, I guess.
Good. Glad that's lesson learned.
Yep.
Question about the line, the electric line for the outdoor unit for the heat pump. Is that like how many tons is that heat pump? Is it like a huge heat pump or something?
it's not necessarily huge, but what was out there was not sufficient. And on the drawings, it showed for hooking up to existing on that, and we did not have the proper gauge wire or amperage out there. So this is something that came in as an RFI, reviewed by us, reviewed by the consultants, and then direction given to the contractor to install this. And this was the price that was received and reviewed.
Okay. Okay. Does it have to run underground out to a spot remote, outside the building, not on the wall of the building, or?
Yeah, Matt, do you have this one?
Sorry, which this
one's
one
going to
here?
be the
$53?
outdoor wire unit, AHCP3.
That's 55. That should be 53 right here. Yep.
So if we could scroll down to the original RFI,
RFI in this.
well, you know what? This may have been just a direct once it was determined on this.
Yeah, it probably was.
The outdoor HVAC unit
And condensate pump.
Condensate pump, yes. So the drawings did not show the electrical hookups to this. And so to your answer, Tim, does that need to be run underground? I believe it will be running to a disconnect on the exterior of the building.
Yeah.
And then hardwired from there to the unit.
Okay. Yeah, I was just, it just jumped out at me, $5,000 to, to run one line.
Okay, any questions on any of the other items?
One just quick note here is that the item 55 here, the wall base height change, is a relatively small number, but what this does is it offsets a significant amount of wall patching and repair that would have to be done at the bottoms of the sheetrock in a lot of the rooms on the second floor. So this change adds 1,700 and probably reduces the amount of wall patching by a significant number, which leads to us recommending this particular change as actually a cost-effective means of restoring that to a proper level of finish.
So that's the base that runs along the wall above the floor.
This is on the second floor.
So you're going for what, 4 to 6 inches or something?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it really does. It covers up a deteriorated condition at the bottom of the in all of those rooms, and seemed like a prudent measure, which is why we're recommending it.
Makes sense. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, is there a motion to approve these change orders for the total amount of, can you enlarge that a little bit? 184, 108.34. Don't all speak up.
So moved.
I'll
Is there a
second it.
Okay, roll call vote. Bob?
Bob Remley, yes.
Bartlett?
Bartlett Harvey, yes.
Tim?
Tim Harvey, yes.
And Steve Moore, yes. So the motion carries.
Thank you. So our vendor invoice packet, which you'll receive at the next PMBC meeting, we'll have these reflected in the overall total budget. We can review that quickly if we'd like to. My hope is that we don't have any PCOs for that meeting. So,
Ryan, where do we stand money-wise?
we're right up against the appropriation. So we for things like the lighting and things like the added bathroom downstairs, we've had to consult with Ryan to let him know that we're coming up against our contingency as well as any other uncommitted costs on the project. So when we come across a change that we need, that we think the price is fine, but we are not sure if the appropriation can handle it, we've been using Ryan as a sounding board to see his opinion on whether or not we'd be able to use or go forward with it.
Has Classic made any comments about future stuff that they may be looking at, or are we pretty much nickel and dime to death right now?
I think we're pretty much done right now. They've obviously been complaining about being delayed with structural issues. But no lack of the project team's trying to engage and get these things done and get those answers for them. With these answers tonight, and we had some structural answers yesterday, they'll be able to finish the drywall on the basement floor, be able to finish the patching up on the second floor, removing fixtures. My hope is that we really see the light at the end of the tunnel here for this project.
So, tomorrow, can you give them, direction to proceed?
We'll do it tonight.
We'll do it.
I have,
Yeah,
I
Excellent.
have an email partially drafted,
it's all in line. Yep.
so I can
Good.
get that out in probably within the next hour.
Excellent.
Yep. Kyle is ready to go, and they're all set.
I would add that just that through the volume of changes that we've encountered on the project, Classic has been very good about being part of our team and helping us come up with solutions.
Yep.
To things that we've encountered. So we do want to just recognize that they're looking to help us get there. So
yeah.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Any other questions on Indian Hill? Comments?
No.
So move over to the police station. Any update, Brian?
No, with it being February, no update here. I would anticipate we have an update middle of March. We'll be winding down the senior center, and I'll be engaging with the waterproofing company as well as LLB to get a date squared away and do some of that exploratory testing that we had discussed before the weather turned.
Very good. Thanks. Next on to member input. Bob, anything?
I'm all set, thanks. I think I
Bartlett?
disturbed enough.
No, I'm okay. Thanks.
Tim? Tim, you're on mute.
Sorry, no.
Okay, and I have nothing to add. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, roll call vote. Bob?
Bob Rummel, yes.
Bartlett?
Carolyn Harvey, yes.
Tim?
Tim Harvey, yes.
And Steve Moore, yes. So the next meeting will be February 26th, and hopefully everybody, except Bob, deals well with the weather. Although I hope you don't have any bad weather down there. But thanks for your participation, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
excellent. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right, all.
Thank you.